And the National Police Service say Juja Member of Parliament George KOIMBURI stage managed his own abduction, accusing him of falsifying the detention. Standoff at a Kiambu hospital as a child dies under unclear circumstances. Staff accused of negligence. Welcome to the broadcast. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Laura Omondi. My name is Cynthia Nanjala. The show kicks off right now. The National Police Service and the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, have tonight said that Juja Member of Parliament George KOIMBURI stage managed his abduction for political gains. The Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja and the DCI boss Amin Mohammed said upon interrogation of 3 additional suspects in the alleged abduction, they found glaring and inconsistent gaps disabusing the forceful abduction. The police bosses wondered why the MP, allied to former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, had to fake his abduction just to subject the country to political tension.
The police have managed to recover 2 vehicles, a Honda Civic CRV, registration number KBP 096W, belonging to Peter Kerato, who is also the third chairman of Juja, and a Saburu Forester, silver in color, registration number KDG 803B. belonging to Cyrus Kiero Moya. Additionally, 1 suspect, Karaja Gatana, has been arrested. Gatana admitted to dropping the MP at a hotel where he had refreshments and spent the night with 2 abductors on 25th May 2025 following the alleged abduction. He admitted that on 26th May 2025, while using Kerato's vehicle, that is the Honda CRV, he picked up the MP from the hotel and took him to the scene where they claimed he had been dumped.
For a honorable member of Parliament to go to that extent of state managing his own abduction, creating a lot of tension and fear in the country. Fortunately, we were able to expedite the investigations and to expose him to the public that the Member of Parliament was indeed not abducted. We were able to account for all his movements from the time he attended the church up to where he slept that night. We have even identified the hotel and the room number that he slept. But in order not to prejudice our investigations, we may not be able to share that information at this point in time. But definitely, we are going to share that information with him. And again, it is unfortunate that being a victim, the investigating team were denied access to go and interview the Honorable Member of Parliament, which we very believe that he did not suffer any injuries whatsoever.
A section of members of Parliament has condemned the Juja MP George KOIMBURI for allegedly faking his own abduction hours after a report by the DCI and the National Police Service detailed the Sunday events. KOIMBURI was the center of discussion on Wednesday afternoon in the National Assembly, with Kenya Kwanza members of Parliament and the broad-based government members of Parliament all slamming Gachagwa's ally KOIMBURI.
You will remember, all of you, that the Honorable KOIMBURI appeared before this House, apologized, and in our magnanimity, we accepted his apology and let that go. Honorable Speaker, as a House, we must not let this pass. We must not let it pass. When we forgave Honorable KOIMBURI and let it go, the impeachment of this drama director, I don't know whether he's a script writer or the drama director. Malala might be the script writer. The director is a former deputy president.
From the way my colleague was sleeping, I could knew this is a fake thing. From the appearance, from the way I saw the shot, and the way the stomach was looking up, I just knew this one, there's nothing. But I was waiting for a proper investigative report to be tabled before the House. So I have to reserve my comments. Mr. Speaker, it's very, very unfortunate that politicians can go to this extent.
The one is that while we call on the police to do investigation, then they are blocked from accessing our colleague, who is the only primary person who can give the most useful information. That is disabling the police. And then we might blame them. The second one, which I find unique, is something is developing where when one is admitted, then people come and give updates on their medical condition, people who are not medical practitioners, within the vicinity of the hospital. That usually does not happen in most hospitals.
I would be the last person to actually politicize about attack because I've been a direct victim. But Mr. Speaker, it is on that note that it would be very, very unfortunate that an honorable member would make me waste time sympathizing and standing with him if at all he has actually faked his own abduction. It would be very unfortunate after our own member of parliament has been shot dead that you bring theatrics that touch on our security.
Interesting text by members of parliament. No response yet from KOIMBURI's camp, and that is something that we'll be looking forward to coming either tomorrow or in the near future. But to a different event now, President William Ruto has apologized to Tanzania following recent tensions between Kenya and the neighboring country. Speaking during the national prayer breakfast in Nairobi on Wednesday, Ruto offered the apology on behalf of Kenyans, responding to a call by American preacher Ricky Allen Bolden, who asked politicians to seek reconciliation. He also extended an apology to Ugandan and the Kenyan youth. Former Chief Justice Willy Mutunga and People's Liberation Party leader Martha Karua were among several Kenyans who were denied entry into Tanzania and deported shortly after landing at the Julius Nyerere International Airport. Activist Boniface Mwangi was detained for several days.
Our neighbors from Tanzania, if we have wronged you in any way, forgive us. Our friends from Uganda, if there is anything that Kenyans have done that's not right, we want to apologize if there is anything. To our children, if there is any misstep, we apologize. To our neighbors, if there is any misstep that we have done, you know, we want to build the relationship that will make our country great and will take us forward.
President William Ruto and his deputy Kithure Kindiki led the country to oversee the national prayer breakfast in Nairobi. The high-profile annual event organized by Parliament has become a platform for reflection, unity and prayer, drawing all leaders together. Notably, a delegation from Tanzania was invited to sing at the event, despite the ongoing diplomatic tensions between the two countries. This year's prayer breakfast takes place as the nation grapples with economic challenges, political tensions, and rising youth rebellion. At today's prayer breakfast, leaders made a heartfelt plea for forgiveness and sought divine guidance on addressing the growing misuse of social media in the country.
What Gen Z is dying, and I'm talking because I have Gen Zs, they're dying to be loved. They're dying for a seat at the table. They're dying to be respected. Relationships, and we're talking about really rebuilding relationships. Wouldn't it be beautiful if leaders would stand up and say to our Gen Zs, we had you arrested, and we know that had to be traumatizing, and we're sorry. We shut down the internet. And we know that that's your primary source of communication. And we're sorry.
The ethnicity in our country, that we look at things, we look at our politics in a manner of tribes. Father, forgive us. The blood guilt that we have carried because of politics, because of elections. Father, forgive us.
Leaders between our countries, we must use a moment like this to arrest those situations, because it doesn't look tidy when brothers and neighbors are talking at each other. We must build good relationships and sustain them. Your Excellency, in the same manner, we need to build relationships across generations. The older people, who are the age of our fathers, the parents of today, the younger adults who are starting their families, the young children, and even the unborn.
At the same time, the head of state inaugurated the 2025 African Chiefs of Defense Conference on Wednesday and urged a unified continental approach to security. Military leaders from 37 African nations gathered in Nairobi for the landmark summit to redefine the content security landscape. Ruto underscored the urgency of collaborative action to confront terrorism, cybercrime, and environmental threats. However, the president warned that political instability and security challenges still impede Africa's progress. Discussions at the summit focused on harmonizing intelligence sharing, standardizing military operations, and mobilizing resources to counter evolving threats.
We must also confront the persistent challenges that impede our progress, including political instability, inadequate infrastructure, and widespread insecurity. Across the continent, we face increasing asymmetry and transnational threats, from terrorism and armed conflict to cybercrime and environmental degradation. These challenges test the resilience of our institutions and demand that we reimagine our peace and security architecture. This conference, therefore, is not only a forum for military cooperation, but also a strategic platform for dialogue, policy coordination, and the strengthening of Africa's collective voice in global security affairs.
These dynamics demand that we recalibrate our defense postures, not just for defense and response, but also for foresight, resilience, and constructive engagement. Within this global context, Africa must carve out its own path, one that places continental priorities at the center of security cooperation.
We together have conducted many training exercises like Flintlock, Cutlass Express, and African Lion. I personally had the opportunity to see troops from several of your countries train earlier this year at Exercise Justified Accord near Mount Kenya, and I was impressed by what I saw.
There was a distressing incident at Igegania Hospital in Gatundu North, Kiambu County on Tuesday evening after a child died under unclear circumstances, with witnesses reporting that medical negligence may have contributed to the tragedy. A video circulating on social media showed a visibly distraught man, believed to be the father, carrying the lifeless body of his child through the hospital corridors, accusing them of failing to act on time to save the child. According to sources familiar with the situation, the child had been at the facility for several hours before succumbing to what many conclude to be negligence from the medical officers.
Thank tulisiothe eno MCA dajoka governor dajoka all the men mareka
kupata madaktari wamegoma wakampea tu first aid. Naweza sema tu ni first aid. Juu hawakumfanya venye alikuwa anastahili kufanywa, hawakumpea ward. Alikuwa huyo mtoto alikuwa anafaa kuadimiwa, hakuadimiwa. Wakasema huyo mtoto labda apelekwe Maragwa. Maragwa yenyewe ambulance hairuhusiwi kufika kutoka boundaries za Kiambu ingie kaunti nyingine. Kutafuta hospitali zote zikasema zimejaa. Juu ya income ya mgomo, sasa hospitali zote zimejaa. Sasa mtoto tukaambiwa itabidi mkubwa wa hospitali Igegania atafutwe ndio ongee na mkubwa wa hospitali ya Maragwa ndio apeane ruhusa ya ambulance itoke huku ipeleke mtoto Maragwa, na ni kutoka 6 asubuhi hadi saa 7. Saa 7 ndio huyu akaanza kufikiwa, hakupatikana. Ndio tukaanza kushirikiana na kama our MP na MCA, but unfortunately tukienda kushirikiana na wao mtoto ndio hapo akakufa. Gavana wa Matangi, nitakwambia hata kama hizi mgomo zinafanyika, unaangalia wao watu wenye wako kiango ya chini, unawaangalia kwa hekima juu walikuchagua na sisi hatuna mwingine.
Nimepata familia ikiwa na ile sida, so ningeomba viongozi wetu waweze kufikiria wajiko ili tukaweze kuona kana kwamba kuna mioyo tunaweza juu wakati wa madaktari wamegoma tunahatarisha mioyo ya watu wengi. So wale ambao tuliwatuma kwa kazi, tafadhali watufanyie kazi. Kama ni sida imepatikana kwa madaktari, wao wanaasiliana na wawe kitu kimoja ndio tuokoe maisha ya watu.
Tumeharibiwa mashini, zimeharibiwa pale pusimona pale nini sile manini sote zimeharibiwa, TV imeharibiwa. Hakuna TV, hata wale wagonjwa wenye wanakuja kuangalia TV yote imeharibiwa. Ni kama ni makasiriko ya wagonjwa, lakini sijajua nini kenye kilikuwa kinaendelea juu sasa wakati nenda kujaribu kuuliza hii jamaa nini mbaya na ako na mtoto ameshafariki.
Hundreds of youths congregated at Mama Ngina Waterfront Park in Mombasa to participate in the recruitment exercise which targeted employment placements in Gulf countries. The exercise, spearheaded by the Ministry of Labour and Social Protection, aims to provide Kenyan youth with job opportunities abroad in line with the government's commitment to curb youth unemployment. However, a section of youth raised concerns that after they were allegedly asked to part with 150,000 shillings to 170,000 agency fees to secure placement for the jobs abroad.
Na commission ya 170,000, umeelewa? Na wengine wanakuambia kwamba Alfred Mutua ametusimamia kama sisi mayuthi tukapate kazi. Tunataka kujua hizi agencies zimefuata nini, na kama zimekuja kutusaidia sisi, mbona tutoe pesa? Mbona kuna watu wametoka nyumbani, kuna watu wametoka nyumbani wako tayari guarantee mguu wao uko mbele. Umeelewa? Yani kuna pesa walitoa, sasa safari hazijajipa, hizi za Alfred Mutua zinkuja zauzwa. Tunataka kujua uwazi uko wapi.
Ambiwa hii kazi ni pesa. Na ambapo Alfred Mutua alisema hii job ni free. Sasa tutajua vipi? Yani tuelewaje? Cause hao maagent wamekuwa kazi yao ni kutuchezea. Ili hali sisi tunajua wenyewe hatuna pesa. Na si ati maagent hatuwajui. Kuna maagent tunawajua. Mimi ningejua ninakuja kutoa 150. Sio 150 afadhali ninunue bodaboda, ninunue pikipiki nifanye bodaboda. Nitengeze mtaji.
Opportunities kwa country yetu ni shida sana. Unaweza kuwa na degrees, ma PhD, lakini end of the day unakuta haujaajiriwa. Like mimi niko na degrees lakini bado tu sijaajiriwa, of which I have to settle at home. Tuanze kungangana na wazazi. Hapo documents ambazo nataka ni nyingi, alafu waache ubaguzi. There is no way unatoka hapa na document unaenda the other side, ukifika na kwamba nini umechelewa, anza upya, ama nakwambia wewe kwanza imeisha, toka kwa line. Unaona vitu kama hivyo.
Sijapata kwa ajili sina passport. Kwa sababu ningekuwa na passport najua ningepata, lakini kwa vile sasa sina passport najua saa hiyo chance imeniacha hivyo.
All right, that leads us to a quick break right here on EBN Prime Edition. Stay with us. We'll be back shortly with more news making headlines. Don't go too far. Busia town have arrested a 26-year-old Uganda Isa Muhammad. The suspect, Edinuma Rashid Nasuri, was nabbed as he attempted to cross the Kenya-Ugandan border with the stolen goods.
We wish to inform the public about a successful operation carried out by our officers at the Kenya-Uganda border that led to the recovery of 360 phones. 291 are new phones. We have 69 used phones which are suspected to have been stolen in different parts of Kenya. This was an intelligence-led surveillance by our officers, and we arrested a Ugandan nationality attempting to cross the border to UG with these items. 56 mobile phones have been positively identified as stolen or either snatched or pickpocketed from victims within Nairobi. These are the areas Kamukunji and Bekasi, Tasia, Riverside, Central Police Station, JKIA, Kasarani.
KCB Rugby has appointed Dennis Mwanja as interim head coach, replacing Oliver Mangeni, whose contract ends on June 30th, 2025, in a round of changes to the technical bench. The changes, which take effect from May 26th, will also see backs coach Darwin Mukidza and team manager Priscilla Molo Ngombe leave the club after the expiry of their contracts. The transitions come at a time when the team is looking to rejuvenate itself ahead of the 2025 National Sevens Circuit starting July. They are looking to continually rebuild the team to get back to winning ways. The club seeks to continue contributing positively to the game of rugby in Kenya and sustain its position as a top-tier playing club. Gor Mahia and AFC Leopards are set to renew their rivalry in the highly anticipated Mashemeji Derby on Monday, June 2nd at the Raila Odinga Stadium in Homa Bay County. The first leg of the season ended in a goalless stalemate at Nyayo Stadium, but the stakes are much higher this time around. Gor Mahia are chasing a crucial win to keep pace with league leaders Kenya Police, while also aiming to win in the derby. Meanwhile, AFC Leopards are determined to finish their season on a high and secure their bragging rights that come with victory in Kenya's biggest football rivalry.
Ni mechi kubwa pande yetu na tunajua umuhimu wa hiyo mechi. Kwa hivyo sisi kama wachezaji pamoja na technical bench yetu tunafanya kila tuwezalo kuhakikisha kwamba tumetoa ushindi on Monday, kwa sababu hiyo itatuwezesha kukaribia kutoa ubingwa.
It will be a great match, and it's another opportunity for us to try and close the gap with the leaders in the league. So it's a very good opportunity for us, and seeing that it's being played at our home area, which is a very positive thing, and this is what derby are supposed to be. I think next time we should play AFC Leopards in Kakamega or Busia or Mumias.
Tunajua mechi ni muhimu sana kwetu wachezaji na pia mafans. Ukiangalia Gor Mahia pia ni timu nzuri, wako wanashindania ligi ubingwa, lakini sisi kama FC Leopards tumejiprepare na tunatumai kwamba tutapatiana kadri na uwezo wetu na tutashinda mechi.
We at the moment have nothing to lose, but at least we have bragging rights. We have to make our fans happy. Unaweza sema si mara kwanza derby kwa nje ya Nairobi, shawahi fanyika, lakini ni hapo kitambo awali. Lakini sasa hizi vile watu wamekuwa na ile uzoefu wa derby kufanyika Nairobi, na kwa sasa inaenda nje Nairobi.
What a game it's going to be on Monday, because it will be a public holiday, so you can only imagine how full the Raila Odinga Stadium will be. It's just 20,000 seater capacity, but those numbers are likely to be more. But we'll be looking forward to having a fantastic match and just enjoying local football. That wraps our bulletin tonight. Thank you very much for watching. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Laura Omondi. I'm Cynthia Nanjala. Good night.